Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. On this one, it's on unseen footage of Jay Slater and what really happened. So sit back and watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment down below what you all think of this, as no one's seen this before. It's only just been dropped, I think, like last night. So please watch it to the end.
Chris here, Chris Tenerife. Obviously I was out looking for Jay in the search, and yeah, the team worked tirelessly. It was an emotional roller coaster, as you can imagine. It was very tiring. The guys were still working on the day jobs. We were working on the information that so many people kindly sent to us to try and help us with our searches. We were cross-referencing everything that we received up till the early hours of the morning, most nights, then to bed for a few hours, and then either up and back to work or up and actually out searching for Jay, depending on the day. There was quite a few YouTubers, and naturally there's a lot of questions that are still unanswered. It is still a bit of a puzzle, but what we did was stick to the research we had and the facts, and essentially try and get into the mindset of Jay, track him through the mountains and prove our theory to the authorities, namely the Guardia Civil, that Jay was where we believed him to be, which unfortunately, as everyone knows, that turned out to be true in the end. So this is an intro for the fact-finding, boots on the ground research we did, which helped us create the plan for Recce 2. It's also the videos from Recce 2, and really that helped us create a laser-guided mission plan for Recce 3, which was something we collaborated with the Guardia Civil. We shared them everything before we went out. They knew exactly where we were going in case we got into trouble. As you know, I nearly did get into trouble. It was more of a challenge than I actually expected. So yeah, obviously Recce 3, we proved our point, and everyone knows the outcome of that. But I'd just like to say, the guys that have got questions, everybody has questions still. That's not unnatural. I hope what you find in some of the information that we're putting here on the YouTube channel is some of those questions will be answered in the facts that have obviously become self-evident. As I said before, it was an emotional roller coaster. It was physically draining, it was emotionally draining. Then on top of that, we had to deal with all the hate, threats, conspiracies, stories that were made up about us. But you know, we were out there trying to find Jay. We didn't realise just what the backlash was going to be from us doing that, and certainly me personally, I was unprepared to being thrust into the public domain as we were. All of the conspiracies that I got arrested during the search, and that was why my account went down, and or that we were collaborating with criminal elements as part of some grand scheme or some cover-up. It's all nonsense, guys. I think anyone with a clear mind can see we had one intention and one intention only, and that was to prove our theory, to get Jay out of that ravine. He didn't deserve to be left down there. And in uncovering the proof, protect the family from all the nonsense that's gone on. So I'm sure the sober-minded, clear-minded people amongst you will see what the truth actually was, and it was that. And if these videos go towards helping anyone else answer some of them questions, then great. If it helps the family have some peace of mind, fantastic. And if it helps to change the public opinion away from a lot of the nonsense, then great. I do want to make an apology publicly, because in some of the videos that I'd made, extremely exhausted, extremely tired, late at night and after a couple of beers, as part of my debrief with the team. Of course, some of the things that were said had made me particularly angry. I'm the kind of person who wears my heart on my sleeve. Unfortunately, sometimes that works for you. Unfortunately, sometimes it works against you. Any of the comments that I made about people that come across as personal, I apologise to that. I apologise to them publicly, particularly Mark Williams Thomas, particularly the detective, Mr. Blexley. It was nothing personal, and had I been in a different emotional state, I definitely wouldn't have said those things. I don't agree with everything that they said, of course, but there's no excuse for saying personal things about those people, and I was wrong to do that. We're all human beings, we all make mistakes, and it takes a big man to throw his hands up and say sorry. And I personally want to say sorry to you, and publicly I feel I need to say sorry to you as well. So I hope you can accept my apology. It was nothing personal, and if the truth be known, you guys were just trying to achieve the same thing as us, you know, get the truth out there and help find Jay. So as I say, I hope you accept that apology. And yeah, what led me to that as well, I'm sure you gentlemen can understand it, because of the backlash we were getting and the things that we were suffering. I never expected to become emotionally involved in the case, but I did. It was just something I couldn't help. And obviously after seeing the family out searching, that kind of hits a personal chord with anyone watching a dad and a brother and friends search for a loved one. It was pretty horrific. And yeah, that's the, you know, with the hate that we got, which we definitely didn't deserve, and the backlash that we got, that was why, that was the thing that triggered me, and I said the things which I deeply regret now and wish I hadn't have said them personally against you. And that's really all I've got to say on that matter. So look, we're posting up. Recce 1 is already up there. Recce 2 we're uploading now, and really all that information we gathered from Recce 2, we did a boots on the ground fact-finding exercise up there, which was comprehensively making the maps and proving the theory for Recce 3. Recce 3 we went out and executed. It was a success. The Guardia Civil were in contact the entire time. There was one point where they were nearly called to get me out. I was not in a good position. I managed to take my time and find the route back up, because the route I went down, there was no way I could get back up it. And that's the truth. And unfortunately, that's the way Jay went. Once he hit the V-notch, and once he hit that top of those cliffs at that ravine, unfortunately for the boy, it was game over. When I got down there and saw it for myself, I was astonished, and there was no way. Once you're in there, you can't get out. That's the truth. And I stopped just before I went too far. I didn't have ropes, I didn't have specialist equipment, and had I gone any further, I would have been in serious trouble myself. So I hope that information helps some people just understand the terrain and how dangerous it is. That whole area is a heat trap. You dehydrate and exhaust really quickly, and if you've not had any sleep and you've been up all night, it's very easy to make a mistake thinking he was doing the right thing, Jay, and trying to head for the coast, where he, you know, believed there was civilization. Another thing I'll just say is, at the point when Jay would have looked at his map, his Google map, he would have seen the bar Mirador, La Cruz de Hilda. That was really the only bit of civilization around him. If he'd have clicked on Google, he would have seen coffees and cakes, somewhere to charge his phone, and he would have shortened the distance for him to catch the bus. We believe that's the explanation why he started to walk the wrong direction. Also, he would have come down those unbelievably winding roads, extremely steep roads, which go into probably over 1,000 feet coming down from Mascot on his way to the Airbnb. He would have known he couldn't have walked back up the right way. So we believe that information is what led him with his Google Maps. And remember, at this time he had battery. He only had low battery after he got past Mirador La Cruz de Hilda to the top of the road and went down off track by that second palm tree on the map. And he called Brad at the top road, he called Lucy where the phone pinged at the bottom. He was already off track by then. Up until that point, he would have seen that there was a hiker's trail. It led down to the beach. Unfortunately, he didn't take the hiker's trail. He took the bottom of the ravine, which was a massive mistake, and anyone knows who goes hiking up there, you do not take that path. That is where you get stuck, that is where you get injured, and that's where you're going to need saving. Jay wouldn't have known that. And on the beach, if you click on Google Maps on the beach, you'll see there's canoes on the beach, there's people looking happy. Had Jay have seen that at the point of the top road before he lost his battery, that would have reinforced his belief that he was heading for civilization. And the real killer is when you see the MCP yacht charters on the next beach. You would have thought, get to the beach and I'm saved. I can get the boat. Someone will pick me up, take me back to the next town, and from there I can get a taxi or a bus back to Los Cris. As we all know, it never turned out that way, but you're all free to have a look at that information. Go on Google, prove it to yourself. We tried to track Jay through them mountains, and we believe that's what he was heading for. So I hope that's helpful. Thanks again to everyone that I've apologized to. Please accept it. I cordially mean it, and enjoy the videos. Hi guys, how you doing?
On this next part, he gets in his car and he shows us the way that Jay would have took to get to this Airbnb with these two people. And it's quite weird, but this Christopher, that's in I think that lives in Tenerife. He shows us the way that Jay would have gone to get back to this Airbnb with these two people and that. But yeah, let me know what you think in this. As it's just mind-boggling really, and it's confusing to me, as this is like the last known area that Jay was in before he went missing.
Guys, in this video you're going to see unseen footage that we have never posted before. This is the journey from Papagayo through the tunnel on the motorway to Santiago del Teide. We know Jay would have made that journey sometime between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning. From Santiago del Teide, you go up into the mountains, and then there's a long decline on the roads. It's 5.5, 6 kilometers decline. It's all decline. It's extremely dangerous. If you make one mistake on those roads, there's no reflectors, there's no street lights, it's absolutely pitch black. If you make one mistake on those roads, it's game over. There's literally hundreds of feet of drops down sharp volcanic mountain rock. If you come off in a car on those roads, you will literally tumble down to the bottom of a ravine. The reason why we're putting this footage up is because people ask, why did Jay go the wrong way? Well, if you've come this track in a car and you see how steep it was, Jay would have known he was not walking back up the same way on foot. That's why we believe when he left the Airbnb, he looked at his Google Maps, he had internet at that point, he had battery at that point. He would have seen Mirador La Cruz de Hilda, tapped it, seen coffee and cakes, somewhere to charge his phone. Unfortunate for him, it didn't open until 10 o'clock. But we believe that's why he went what people consider the wrong way, away from Los Cristianos. Because Jay would have known from these videos you're going to see, there's no way he could have walked back up that winding road. No way. So we believe he walked towards the next bus stop up by Mirador La Cruz de Hilda to shorten the distance and shorten the time for him to wait for the next bus. And it was on that top road. He was joking around with Brad that he was going to come off path. Brad had heard gravel, stones underneath, suggested he'd stepped over the concrete stones off path from the main road, and the rest, as you know, is history. But this is some unseen footage we've never posted before. This was part of the fact find for the second recce mission that we did, and I actually retraced Jay's steps approximately the same time he would have made them in the car with the two guys that he was with, at around 6:15 in the morning, arriving at Masca approximately 6:45. 6:30, 6:45. Here's the videos. Okay, just to give you guys some context, we know the facts are Jay left in a car with two people that he was friendly with. He would have made this trip on the motorway for approximately half an hour. He would have made this trip at around about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
As you can see, he's driving down like the motorway or something that they would have taken in the car. But yeah, it's so strange that he went that way with these two people in the car. I still don't get why he would have gone with them and not with Lucy and Brad. Why would he go that way instead of going with them? Which is just unusual, really. But yeah, I just can't get my mind around it at all, how Jay's gone in this car and gone this way instead of going back with his friends, as it takes about 50 minutes from this Airbnb back to the apartment that he was in. But yeah, it's just mind-boggling.
He would have made this trip at around about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 6 o'clock in the morning now, or 5:45. It was the night of a Sunday, so the morning of a Monday. Now, I'm making this trip now, as you can see. There's not too much on the way, the motorway. However, when I get to Santiago del Teide, I'll do another video. And then, more importantly, the road from Masca at more or less this time in the morning will give you some indication of just how challenging it was to make that journey with his two friends all the way to the Airbnb based in Masca. Hi guys, we're just coming through the tunnel. So I've been on the motorway for 15 minutes. I'm about another 5 minutes away from Santiago del Teide. I'm just coming through the tunnel, which goes through the mountain. Just to give you some idea and some concept, this is the journey Jay would have made with his two friends after he left the NRG festival to get to Santiago del Teide on his way to the Airbnb in Masca. Okay, I'm actually on the road to Masca now. This is the decline. I am literally moving at 15 to 20 kilometers an hour. The road is tight. The bends are extremely tight. I cannot see anything in the distance. It requires so much concentration You literally cannot go any faster than what I'm going if you want to navigate this road carefully. I'm literally at a snail's pace. And it just begs the question, why take the risk? Why come all the way out here? It just doesn't make sense. Guys, this is not a joke. I can promise you, on the other side of these concrete blocks is a sheer drop. If you make a mistake up here, you do not get a second chance. Look at the hairpin bends. I've actually got my live location on. I've shared it with 3 members of my family, just because you just don't know what's going to happen on these roads. It is that dangerous. We're in the mountainside. The cliffs there, you can see the silhouette. They're a couple of 1,000 meters above sea level. This makes no sense whatsoever to make this journey. Why would you leave a populated, civilized area to make this journey when you've got everything on your doorstep? And by the way, Jay was staying in Los Cristianos, which was probably a taxi ride of about 5 minutes away from where the festival was, but instead he chose to get in the car with 2 of his friends, come 20 minutes up the motorway, go through Santiago del Teide, and then navigate this treacherous hillside road to get to a remote Airbnb. Ask yourself the question, why would you do that? Look at the mountain.
But yeah, let me know, guys, what you all think of this. Drop a comment, like and subscribe to the channel. It'd mean a lot, as I am trying to get 10k subscribers. But yeah, like and subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, share around as much as possible. But yeah, just like and subscribe, comment what you think of it all, as yeah.